Hello.
Okay. Hello. Welcome, guys. We're to the Getting Well podcast. I'm super excited because today I have Kristina Dunn, who, if you don't follow on Instagram, is so fun to follow, all fashion content. And I recently found out she also does, well, at least I think it's a full carnivore diet. So I'm really excited to learn more, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask her a bunch of questions about journey to carnivore, why she started, if there's any like modifications that she does with it, and then we can talk about benefits of it, everything. We're gonna get into all of it. So
Love it.
yeah, with that said, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. So my name's Kristina. I am 23 years old. I've been on the carnivore diet for about almost a year now. Um, Basically, I try to see what else I could say about myself. But yeah, I do social media stuff. So I post like fashion content. I'm trying to get into like posting more carnivore content. And then I also work in real estate. So I do a bunch of little things.
Oh wow, I didn't know you also worked in real estate.
Yeah.
That's fun. Very
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
dynamic. You got a lot going on.
Thank you.
Yeah, good for you. So, what kind of brought you to wanting to start the carnivore diet? How did you hear about it? What did that look like?
So, how I got to the diet. Okay, this is a very long journey, but I'm going to try to like keep it as simple as possible. So basically, like as a child, I struggled
Mhm.
with like a lot of gut problems, like IBS, acid reflux, just like didn't have a good digestive system. I had like two endoscopies. I was always like crying to my mom, like, I need to go to the doctor. I have such a bad stomach. And I also suffered really bad with acne. And then as I started getting older, like, obviously, diet, I didn't really know like diet was a whole, had an impact on like my health. And I started just like eating whatever. And then over time, I got a really bad eating disorder, like in high school. Obviously, like I wasn't eating the best food and I was bulimic for a little bit. I don't know if you're familiar with that. So then after I overcame that, I started getting into like holistic health and really like learning about like nutrition and how that could like heal you from within.
Mhm.
So I got into that. I started like eating a little bit cleaner, trying to stick to like whole foods, reading food ingredient labels, like got really crazy into it. And still it like I didn't feel my best, but I definitely felt a lot better. Like a lot of things got better as I was eating a very healthy diet. And
Mhm.
then I went to like more like animal based because I saw Paul Saladino.
Oh
And
yeah.
then, yeah, so I started eating animal based for a little bit. And then that got into carnivore because I didn't feel like the full benefits until like
Mhm.
I cut out completely all carbs. Yeah, and then since then I've been fully carnivore. I have to like be a little stricter than most people. So
Mhm.
I eat mostly like lion. Sometimes I eat eggs, but I don't really eat chicken or anything like that.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. How did you figure out that you had to do more lion diet compared to a normal carnivore diet?
Just because like certain things were still bothering me, like even sometimes eggs still bother me. I feel like I have a lot of like underlying issues that I still need to resolve before I could like start adding things back in. So I kind of am like just going back to the basics and then like slowly starting to add more things back in because I would like to have more variety. But it's kind of anytime I eat anything else, it kind of like triggers me or like bothers me and I don't feel my best.
Wow. So, how was that transition? Like going from animal based to carnivore, was that really difficult? Because I know in my journey, making
Mhm.
that switch has been really hard. I mean, I'm still kind of doing that. Even like cutting out carbs, at all carbs is so hard because like people don't realize even milk, like that's still sugar, it's still carb, honey,
Mhm.
all of it. So even if you're animal based and you're cutting out most of the fruit, like all that stuff is still carbs. So like, how did like that transition work?
Yeah, so first when I was doing animal based, I was like eating like a lot of carbs, like a lot of fruit, a lot of honey, kind of would do exactly what like Paul Saladino does. And then I just like started eating more meat because I saw like Dr. Anthony Chafee and like other people promoting, yeah, saying the carnivore diet. So I was like, maybe I could just try eating like more meat. So I started like slowly weaning off like all the fruit. And then for like 2 weeks or so, I was eating like only like an apple a day or like very small. Like I wasn't eating many fruits a day. And then I decided like November 1st of last year or this year. Yeah, this year, right?
Yeah.
November 1st. Yeah, this year. I decided to like cut everything out. And then that's when I was fully carnivore. So I just like cut it all out. But yeah, weaning off carbs and sugar is very hard, honestly.
Yeah,
It's
it's
an
so hard.
addiction. Yeah.
I didn't realize it was going to be as difficult as it has been. Because I mean, I was doing the exact same thing. Like, I had so much fruit. I was totally overdoing it. I think Paul Saladino, I really love his content, but he really pushes like this insane amount of carbs and sugar. And like for that everyday person, we're not running marathons. Like, we're not doing this and that. And like, I wish that I was working out all day, every day, but like,
Yeah, same.
yeah. And if you have all those autoimmune problems, because like I know I struggle with that too, you
Oh
just
yeah, you
can't
have
have that much. Yeah, I have
what autoimmune?
Hashimoto's.
Oh, okay,
I have
interesting.
Hashimoto's, and then I recently like I get really bad psoriasis if I shouldn't say really bad. For me, it's bad, and I just get it on my head and like all over my scalp if I eat anything that I shouldn't. Even honey, like honey's a huge trigger of my psoriasis, which sucks.
Do you feel like the carnivore diet puts your autoimmune condition in remission, or have you not experienced that
So
yet?
it's hard to say. My thing, I have because I had a lot going on. Certain things got better. So like my acne, night and day is so much better. Like my skin, I've never felt confident about my skin until like more recently when I switched to full carnivore, even from animal based. Even when I was animal based, my acne was like horrible. So that transition, just cutting out fruit, made a big difference. But yeah, I think I definitely saw a lot of changes, and then my autoimmune disease is getting better. But Hashimoto's is one of the really tricky ones.
Yeah, I'm
So
not too familiar with that one, but I
yeah,
can imagine.
it's of your thyroid. So it's one where I can't really have milk anymore, and that's been super hard cutting out of my coffee.
I
So
know milk is good.
been there. Yeah. Are you still able to drink milk?
No, I actually tried drinking raw milk within the past couple months, and it
Uh-huh.
didn't go too well.
Yeah.
So I'm
Gotta
kind
get
of
milk.
like I'm gonna start adding things back in eventually, but I feel like milk might be the last one just because it's like maybe if I do like cream or something
Yeah.
because it's like
Yeah.
has the sugars and stuff.
Totally.
But I love milk.
I know
Milk's
it
so
can be
good.
triggering though. And then how'd you figure it out for eggs? You said you could have some eggs.
So sometimes I eat them like more out of convenience, if that makes sense. Like if I'm traveling or something
100%.
and I can't really get like red meat, but they just like bother me, or I could tell like my acne gets worse like if I eat eggs. I think sometimes I still gotta like try like eating maybe just the yolks because people say the
That's
whites
what
could
I
be
feel.
inflammatory. So I still
Yeah,
gotta experiment with that.
yeah. A lot of people say it's the albumin protein. I think that's how you say it. But a lot of people say that that's very inflammatory. I haven't done like too much research on it. I kind of was going for a trial and error, and I tried that, and I noticed I don't break out from egg yolks.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll definitely have to try that out
Yeah,
because I like eggs. They're
yeah.
good.
They're so good. um, okay, so I was also talking to Jake Steaks, which is where both of us buy beef from. And he was telling me that you get the non-cured meat.
Yeah.
So you want to tell us like a little bit more about that? I'm so interested.
Yeah. So basically, um, throughout this like carnivore journey, I had amazing benefits, but people struggle with on this diet too is histamine intolerance. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's
Yeah.
basically like when you react to aged beef. I don't know like the whole science behind it, but I found myself when I was eating like aged beef, like I would get a lot of symptoms that other people got. Like I would get insomnia, map tongue, kind of like allergic reaction symptoms.
Wow.
So so I find when I eat like just plain unaged beef, like I'm completely fine, everything's fine. But like when I start eating like lots of aged beef, like kind of like the grocery store, like I can't really eat grocery store meat right now. Because like I'll react to it. If I eat it like here and there, I'm fine. I take like an enzyme that helps me break down the histamines, but other than that, I can't really eat them. So I have to eat unaged beef. So that's why I buy
Yeah.
from Jake's. Also, like White Oak Pastures, their unaged beef. Um, so it's like flashed from frozen, or like I don't know how to
Okay.
explain that. Frozen immediately after
Yeah.
slaughter.
Wow, that's so interesting. And then how quickly do you notice that reaction?
It would kind of be like immediately after I ate them. Sometimes like
Oh,
yeah, so I would be able to like notice. I just like felt different. I'm trying to. I wish I had a list of like other symptoms that I experienced, but it's basically like insomnia. I would get map tongue. Like people get hives from it.
wow.
Just
What's
like a
meth
lot of like allergies. It's like when your tongue gets like all like kind of like a map on your tongue. It like makes
Oh my
like it's
gosh.
so weird. Yeah,
I didn't
like kind
know
of
that
like
that was even a thing.
yeah, I would get really bloated sometimes too. Like I could just tell like when I ate it, I just like felt like an allergy. Oh, like my throat would hurt, my nose would get stuffy. So it was kind of like
Wow.
allergy symptoms. Yeah.
So just like
And
full
it was
histamine reaction.
yeah, and it kind of was disheartening because I felt so good from like the carnivore diet, and then I would tell people about the symptoms and I was like, should I like go back to eating like other foods because I feel like
Yeah.
I'm doing something wrong? And people were like, yeah, you shouldn't just eat meat. But then when I started like digging into like the research and like researching about the symptoms I was experiencing, a lot of other carnivores actually struggle with that. So then that's when I started eating unaged beef and I found out that I was completely fine.
Oh my gosh. Wait, this is so interesting
Yeah.
because I've been struggling with this like not exactly, but just some type of reaction recently. And I actually added
Mhm.
back sauerkraut, which is kind of random, but it was fermented because I was freaking out. Like, am I doing something wrong?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm gonna try that. I
Yeah, you
just
definitely
ordered
should
one.
because I found out because when I was eating animal based before, I was eating sauerkraut. Sorry, I mean, did I say that
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Um, and I found out that I guess because it has like probiotics in it and stuff like that,
Yeah.
or like because it's fermented, I found out my histamine problems got worse too because it makes you go to the yeah. Like I had to go pee a lot, and that's also another histamine problem too. Yeah, I don't know if you struggle with
Jaw
that, but
dropped.
yeah,
Yeah. I exactly what I'm struggling with right now. That is so interesting.
yeah, or like
Okay.
waking up a lot of like in the midnight, like all night trying to go to the bathroom. Like that was me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm curious, were there any other hiccups like along the carnivore journey that you kind of feel like you should give someone else heads up on or like things that people should know before they start?
Um, I don't know if you've experienced oxalate dumping. I don't know. Have you experienced that or no?
I feel like I'm not sure if I have. I feel like I didn't know exactly what to look out for when I
Hmm.
first started it.
Yeah. So
So,
I don't think I've experienced that yet, but I know
mhm,
some people do experience oxalate dumping. Sometimes that could be like coincide with histamine problems. So
uh-huh.
people say if you add like some oxalate back to your diet, that could help. But other than that, I haven't had much hiccups. through this diet. It's just like reacting to certain foods. Like I had to go lion, and then now I'm going to start like reintroducing things back once when I feel like 100% ready for that.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people won't know the difference too. Do you want to explain the difference between Lyme diet and normal carnivore diet?
Yes. So a normal carnivore diet is just basically like all animal products. Some people do like cheese and stuff like that within the carnivore diet. And then the lion diet, I believe Michaela Peterson came up with this idea. It's just basically red meat or ruminant animals, salt, and water. A lot of people who struggle with like autoimmune conditions and stuff have to go on this diet just because, they find they need to like put their autoimmune condition in remission. People had a lot of success with that, but there's also a lot of other like reasons why people go on this diet too.
Yeah. And then something I always think about, or at least something I struggle with, and especially at the beginning, how do you deal with it kind of socially going out and like explaining it to people? And then meat is always so demonized. Plus, as a woman, like people are like, that's kind of weird, like, because it's just so not feminine.
So
Or like
not
it's said
feminine.
that it's not
Yeah.
feminine. I'm like,
No,
give me
I
this
know.
dick.
No, I know. Well, growing up, I never thought like meat was like really healthy for you either. So I feel like it's definitely demonized. And I felt like when I first started my carnivore journey, I was a lot nervous or like a little bit more held back to tell people because I felt like people were going to judge me or like say like that's weird or whatever. So I didn't
Yeah.
really tell people in the beginning. But now that I've been on it for so long, I feel a lot more comfortable like telling people. I know that people are not, always, what's
Yeah.
the word? Like they won't always think it's the best
Accepted.
thing for me. So
Yeah.
usually I'll just tell people, and like if they have comments or something, I just, hear them out and then change the subject or whatever. But usually all my friends are very, like they think it's really cool that I'm doing, and no one's really saying anything. I try to push people to eat more meat, encourage people, but people don't always take it.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. I feel like I struggle with that too. It's like sometimes my family, I have one sister that's vegan even. So I'm like
oh
always trying
wow.
to get her to eat something or to eat
Mm-hmm.
meat. And she's like won't do it. So
Well,
that's a struggle.
yeah, no,
Um,
I get them.
yeah. I was also curious. So when you first started, I think a lot of people like ask this question too. Did you notice any weight changes or like weight fluctuations at the beginning versus like to where you are now?
I think in the beginning of the diet, I dropped a lot of like water weight or like water
Mhm.
retention, if that makes sense. People say that a lot. When you start the diet, you might drop like water weight. And I didn't feel like I was dropping like a lot of weight because I try not to like weigh myself that often because, numbers could get in your head. But
Totally.
I felt like I was dropping like the way things fit me. They were a little bit more looser on me. So that made me feel better like about doing the diet. But
Yeah.
other than
Yeah.
that, I didn't really notice too big of a fluctuation in my weight where like most people will drop like 20 pounds, 30 pounds. I just feel
Yeah.
like I just noticed like different sizes. Maybe I'm a little bit smaller than I was.
Hmm. Yeah, that's kind of what happened with me too. I feel more defined, but
Yes.
I didn't really lose weight. Like I shouldn't say like the number went down on a scale because like I mean, you're really tall too, right?
Yeah,
You're
I'm
like
6 foot.
okay. Yeah, I'm like 5'11", almost 5'11".
Oh my
So
gosh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
yeah, I'm pretty tall too. So I feel like my weight doesn't ever, it just doesn't matter. Like I'm so tall, I carry it. I don't know how to explain that, but I don't really weigh myself
Yeah,
either.
different proportions and stuff. Yeah, I feel that.
Exactly. Like my healthy weight is so different than like most people because most women are a little shorter. So when
Mhm.
I'm 160, 165, they're like, I'm
What?
like, but I'm like all it's work. I work out a lot. I'm like doing this and that, and like Yeah, so people are always interested by that.
Oh, definitely. I did find my face like got more defined too. Like definitely like
Yeah.
my body got more defined. So definitely more definition within the body. Yeah.
Yeah. And then how do you feel about like workouts? Do you feel like you're, especially at the beginning, like, oh, sorry, did you notice that you had like a transition at all with your workouts? Like, was it hard at the beginning? Did it get better?
Yeah, so actually I got to really think about this. In the beginning, it was a little harder for me to work out, if that makes sense. When I was going off the carbs, like that time where I was transitioning, it
Mhm.
was a little hard, like starting to work out again. I just, maybe that was like electrolytes and stuff. I needed to up my electrolytes, which I wasn't doing. So I did
Mhm.
feel like more tired and stuff. But now, actually, to be honest, I don't work out as much as I used to
Yeah.
before this diet because I find I don't need to work out as much. Like I stay the same, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like I try to get outside and walk and stuff like that, but I find I don't need to work out as much. So I do like more quicker workouts. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Just like little things where you're just keeping your body in motion and like doing it to feel good, not it. Yeah. And that's how it should be too. Like it should be something where it's like it's fun, you look forward to it, and it's not like this like we're killing ourselves in the gym and we're way overdoing it, having this crazy cortisol spike. So I feel like
Yeah.
that is what is pushed by media. They're like, you need to work out 6 days a week. You need to hit. You need to run five, like all this stuff. Like you need to run at 5 a.m. every single morning. And it's just like, that could not be further from the truth if you're really looking to feel your best and to like be the best. So
No,
it's interesting.
100%.
Yeah.
Before I started this diet, I used to like work out like 5 to 7 days a week. Like I was in the gym, like
Wow.
sometimes even during COVID, I was like 2 hours. Well, I didn't go to the gym during COVID, but I was working out at home. And then after COVID, I was working out for like 2 hours at the gym. I was always there for a very long time.
Yeah, yeah, almost like it. I felt like before I found carnivore animal based, like I was more like obsessed because I couldn't burn fat without like crazy cardio or like crazy
Same.
workouts. And then that transition did help a lot. Did you feel like that too, even with animal based?
Wait, say that one more time.
Oh, did you feel like that too with animal based, or was it really like just carnivore?
What, like I had to work out a lot?
Yeah, I mean, work out less.
Work out less. Definitely. When I was eating a lot of carbs, though, I did feel like I needed to work out
More.
more.
Yeah,
I feel like I need to work out less on this diet. But
gotcha.
I did work out a little less than before animal based, but
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And then I think you were telling me too, you just started like a new carnivore account, right?
Yeah, so I post on TikTok and then I just started a new Instagram. So I'm trying to post more about it just to like educate people,
Hmm.
women, and like how like you shouldn't be scared of red meat or
Yeah.
eating more meat. I feel like more women should know about that because I wish I was taught this at a younger age
Hmm.
because I feel like how I was raised was a little caused like me issues or I didn't feel my
Yeah.
best.
Yeah. A lot of women have deficiencies when they're not eating any meat.
I
It's kind of,
agree.
yeah, it's tough. But I know when I first saw your account, I was shocked when you first told me you were carnivore because, like, I feel like typically with social media, when you have someone that's in the niche that you are, that's so like fashion and like fun and so feminine and girly and like so beautiful, like
Oh,
most
thank
people
you.
assume, yeah, most people assume like, oh, she's gonna be a vegan or this or that or um, doing all these other things. So when you said like I think you commented on something and I was like, oh my gosh, like I got all excited looking at your stuff. And I feel like other women need to see that because it's kind of inspiring where you're seeing this like, oh, it is feminine and it is beautiful to like want this healthy feeling and to not feel like I have to be confined to I need to eat greens. I need to eat this and that.
No, I
Right.
love that because that's how I used to feel. Like I did go vegan for a little bit, not long because I wasn't able to um, stay on it too long, but I did try going vegan for a couple months and it just didn't work out. My acne got really bad. I didn't feel my best. So I was eating like whole foods vegan and then I stopped that. So I feel like, yeah, the media definitely portrays like eating green smoothies, juice cleanses, all of these
Yeah.
things are so healthy for women for you to be like thin and fit, but it's
Hmm.
not always that. So that's why
Yeah.
I started my new account so I could teach women or like just, eating red
Yeah.
meat can be cool. It can be hot,
Yeah. Yeah. And it's fun too. And it's like, and you feel good. And that transition of feeling good is just like that's one reason why I love posting about it. Even if you were like, you're crazy or you're doing this or that. I'm like, I don't care. Like, if it helps a couple people, you know, and then it's
That
so
is,
worth it.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. We kind of hit everything, like your new account, all the stuff going on with transitioning. What else? I mean, is there anything else that stands out along the journey of carnivore versus like maybe dealing with social media stuff,
I'm trying to think. Let me.
right? I know there's a lot.
There's
We
a
kind of
lot to cover, yeah, but we did
right.
cover a lot.
What about like mental health? Did it change at all?
That's a good one.
Maybe prior to animal based versus carnivore.
Yeah, so I find that definitely my mental health when I started eating a cleaner diet, like whole foods and animal based, my mental health got tremendously better.
Mm-hmm.
I find that being on a carnivore diet, I'm much more stable. Like especially with my energy, I'm like this all day. Where like when I was eating sugar and stuff like that, even on animal based, I had a lot more spikes. So I'd have a lot more like energy and then crashes.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that me like having a steady energy level, like it keeps me calm.
Yeah,
Does it make
that's
sense? Like I have
nice.
a very calm personality where
Uh-huh.
like before I found, I would get all these highs and then I would get these lows because maybe it was the carbs. I don't know what it was, but I
Just
do
more
find
changes.
I do find my mental health has gotten significantly better. Like even with anxiety and stuff, I don't get anxiety about certain things where
Wow.
like before I would get so much anxiety. Like even coming on this podcast, I would like be freaking out. But
Yeah,
now I find like nothing really phases me as much as it did before.
that's amazing. I love to hear that.
Oh, I actually talked on my TikTok about this, and people were like, "That's amazing to hear," because I actually went through a breakup in May, and I was talking about like how I wouldn't be mentally sane right now if I wasn't on the carnivore diet. Like I feel like being on this diet has brought me so much like joy and happiness, like
Mhm.
insanity, if that makes sense. Like I
Yeah,
don't feel like sadness or sometimes I get sad. I'm not gonna lie,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like I just feel like I don't get depressed or
Mhm.
anxiety. I'm just like,
Wow.
it feels nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm curious if you noticed this too. So, in addition to like feeling better mentally, do you notice when you're on 100% carnivore, your like cramping and like period pain goes away?
Oh yeah, that's a good topic too because I used to have really bad like periods. I was on birth control. I don't know if
Yeah,
you were ever on birth control or
yeah, it
anything like
was.
that. I was on birth control since I was 16 and then I went off of it a couple years ago because I actually was on Accutane. So I went off of Accutane and birth control at the same time. So I went off
Wow.
of that. Yeah, so that was really hard for me. I didn't get my period for over a year. And then I got my period back. It was terrible. I had terrible period cramps. really bad acne. Like it was the worst. I had PMS symptoms, and then ever since like going animal based and then finally carnivore, my periods, I don't get period cramps, I don't get bloating, I don't get PMS symptoms. I find that like
Yeah.
actually having my period, I actually enjoy my period. Like it's crazy to say, but like it's a time where like I could relax and like really just like take time for myself. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I so relate to that. I think it makes you appreciate your body in like a different way. And then I noticed, even if I had a touch of honey, my period cramps are 360 compared to the way they are when I have like full
Oh,
carnivore.
wow.
Any sugar, any glucose at all before, yeah, like my cramps are horrible, which is
Oh, that's
interesting.
crazy. Yeah.
Do you,
When I first started the diet, I had really bad cramps. That was one thing I struggled with. So that's why I did feel like I needed to like eat like some kind of fruit. When I first
like muscle
started,
cramps?
yeah, really bad. Like my legs would like cramp up in the middle of the night, like tense
Yes.
up.
Oh my
Are you
gosh.
experiencing that? Are you experiencing that right now? No,
Yes,
that's the
the
thing.
Charlie horses.
So bad. My legs would get like
Yeah.
crazy,
Okay, so
tense
what did
up,
you
and then
do
you would
about
wake up. They slowly just started going away, honestly. So do you drink electrolytes or no?
that? So I was drinking element drinks,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not 100% sure what caused it because I was still in a phase where I was like trying to introduce things back in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe I had like a couple bites of an apple and then I drink an element drink to try to like get rid of the cramping.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the worst migraine of my entire life.
Oh,
Like I
wow.
was bedridden. And then now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't have an element yesterday, but I also I was having cramps, so I was like, I'm gonna have a bite of an apple. And then I got a little bit of a migraine yesterday. I guess I should say headache because
Interesting.
it wasn't as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
interesting though, because I would do the same thing. I would literally eat like an apple because I felt like the cramps would go away, like if I ate an apple. But
yeah.
I find, yeah, just like salting your foods more and like maybe having more
Okay.
electrolyte if you're trying to go full carnivore.
I definitely am because I was kind of scared to even like talk about this on the podcast because I don't know. I like it's scary to expose whatever's going on like health wise in your life.
Oh,
But I was
100%.
yeah, I was like trying to introduce things to see if I could like pinpoint what was causing everything. And something I introduced the past week. So I had like half of a sweet potato and then I had an not even a whole apple, like a little bit of an apple. And then I have like my psoriasis is like back on my head right now. So it's like,
Oh, that's
okay,
so
we're gonna have to do
frustrating.
full carnivore. Yeah. But you know what? It was a good wake up call to realize that like, oh, maybe the cramps were normal and I need to just add more electrolytes or like try a different type of electrolyte,
Yeah,
like
that's
what
a
you
good
were saying.
idea. And you don't have to like put yourself in a certain, because I know like when I first started the diet, I was scared to like put myself in like, oh, like I'm just a carnivore, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel
Yeah.
like just like do whatever makes you feel good and, it'll
Yeah.
work out.
100%. Yeah. Because that's something too. It's like if you say you're carnivore and then you have something that is not carnivore,
I was
people
gonna say
freak
that,
out
yeah.
on social media and will like say, "Oh my gosh, you're such a fake. You're such a fraud." And it's like
Hmm.
I'm
No,
sharing everything,
yeah, you're
right?
sharing your whole life. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, and
No,
it's
that's
kind of
right.
scary,
No, it's definitely
right?
scary when you're starting something new. And that's one of the reasons like I didn't want to tell people I was carnivore too, because it's like, oh, like then people are gonna like look at you and it's like, well, what are you? Like you're eating this or that. So I was
Yeah.
eating majority carnivore, but I was still like eating like in the beginning, like when I was transitioning, I was eating
Uh-huh.
like fruit and stuff like that just to help with like the cramps and stuff like that. So
Wow. Okay, that's so motivating. I think I needed to hear that because I was feeling really scared. I was like, is this
yeah.
normal? Am I
No,
doing
it's
something
definitely
wrong?
normal. It's definitely normal. I did
Yeah.
so much research in the beginning because I was experiencing like the cramps, stuff like that. And then once when I like cut it out, like I just stopped Have you tried doing carnivore for like a certain amount of time, or you haven't been able to really do it because you got like the headaches or
Yeah,
the
so I did it. The only thing is when I first started, I was trying to do straight line diet, but I would
it's
still
very
put,
hard?
it's really hard. And I
Yeah.
would technically not do line diet because I would put cream in my coffee, or I would put yeah, like I'd have like a tiny bit of honey or like something like that, and then it ruins all of it because it, I mean, I shouldn't say it ruins all of it, but for me, with those two things being triggers, it wasn't really helping. So
You crave
then,
sugar.
yeah, and then once you have a tiny touch, the food noise is crazy, which I
Yeah,
feel like
that's
is
what people
something.
say. I saw some other, I think Carnivore Ray, he was talking about it. Do you know him? He
Yeah,
posts, I think he like started introducing fruit back into his diet, and he was like, the cravings for like the fruit or whatever is insane compared to like before, like when he was full carnivore, you don't crave anything. And that's what
exactly.
people ask me all the time. People are like, you don't crave this cake? I'm like, no, I have no cravings for that. It's like once when you introduce something, it's like then you start having cravings. So I haven't
Yeah.
had cravings for anything in a very long time, which is good. But
Wow, that's amazing. No, now I'm inspired. I'm gonna do it.
oh
I'm gonna
yeah, let me
go
know if
straight
you have any
line
questions.
diet.
Or just
Okay.
do carnivore and then see.
Yeah. I want to try with the non-aged meat though too. I think that's so interesting. So I actually just ordered an eighth, I think an eighth of a cow.
Oh
My
really?
freezer's small. Yeah. I wanted to get a big freezer and I was like really trying to get my boyfriend to agree to it. And I was like, come on, like, let's get this big freezer. He's like, where are we going to put the freezer? I
Oh,
was
that's so
like,
funny.
we can put it in our bedroom. It'll be fine.
It doesn't matter. My freezer is literally outside. It's like under something, but like I put a freezer outside just so I could get a half a cow. Just because it makes more sense for me because I spend so much money
100%.
on unaged beef, which is it's pricey, but
Yeah.
carnivore
Yeah.
carnivore diet is not too expensive. I wouldn't say it's expensive diet if you eat ground beef and eggs all the time, but you know,
No.
I have to eat the unaged beef, so it gets a little pricey there. So that's why I buy a half a
Yeah.
cow, or I just bought a half a
Yeah.
cow.
Yeah. Have you made like soups or anything or like bones? Oh, that's such. I have another really good question, but you can answer that one first.
What? Oh, do
Okay.
I like
So, yeah,
videos?
like, do you make like soups or like, I don't know. Do you do anything like, or do you just kind of air fry it or cook it?
So I find like a lot of people in the carnivore community make all these like crazy like recipes and stuff. I just
Uh-huh.
find like out of convenience and stuff like that, I air fry and like reverse sear a lot of my steaks, or like I just eat ground beef, which I do
Uh,
find I can't eat ground beef that often because of histamine problems. That's like a whole other thing, is because it like ground beef has more histamines. So I
okay.
have to eat a lot of like steaks or like roasts.
Okay.
So a lot of my diet is like air fried steaks
I love that. Air
or like
fried steaks is so fun. It's
yeah,
so easy.
so
You just
easy.
stick
So
it
a
in
lot of
there.
my that's why it's just like more convenience for me. But I saw you did that like roast where you put it in the oven. I need to try that. It looks so
It's
good.
So I was asking Jake Steaks. I keep mentioning that I should just say Jake, but I was asking for if they had chuck roasts, but they don't have any chuck roasts right now. They were sold out, so I ended up getting a bunch of short ribs. So that's gonna be the next thing that I make a roast of.
Yum. I
It's
love
the
short rib.
easiest thing to do, though. That's why I love it. Do you
I
have
know
like
you
a?
gotta
Oh, sorry. What was that?
no, you gotta teach me how to do it because sometimes these recipes are too complicated. I'm like, I just need something easy.
Yeah, no, it's so easy. I promise. Like I think I posted the same recipe like 20 times. And I'm like, guys, you gotta try it. It's just so you just get a
So
big
good.
giant like cast iron
Roast.
Dutch oven thing.
Oh, I have one
Um,
of those. Yeah.
okay, perfect. Then you put that on so preheat your oven, put it on the stove, get it super hot, and then like sear each side of your roast
Mm-hmm.
until they're like golden brown. Fill it to the top with water and stick it in the oven for like 4 hours. And it's
Oh, that's it.
so good. That's it.
Oh wow. No, I gotta try that because I
Yeah.
find like I can't eat slow cooked meat either. But that I'd probably be good with. Yeah, I know that's a bummer. So I pressure cook
So,
meat.
okay, I have a question because I think I was
Mhm.
starting to notice I felt a little nauseous the more I ate too much roast, literally. But I
Mhm.
was thinking maybe it was because they were aged.
Mhm. Yeah, no,
Um,
that could be a thing. There's like a whole list of symptoms like histamine problems. Like if
yeah.
like I can't eat like if some like the other day I actually cooked a slow cooked meal with my sister and her husband
Uh-huh.
and I ate some of it and yeah, it did not I could tell immediately like it bothers me.
Wow. Do you ever eat raw beef?
That's something I would like to experience with or experiment with because people say that's really like low in histamine and it's like good, but I haven't had like I'll eat sometimes raw ground beef, here and there, but
Uh-huh.
I'd like to eat more raw meat. It's
Yeah.
kind of hard though. I'm a little
Yeah.
nervous about it. Not nervous, but like I find it's more chewy. No.
So I like it. You can either put like ghee on top, and then I
Mhm.
add can you have Maldon salt?
Yeah, I use salt.
So the Maldon salt though, it's like really big and flaky.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
So I
I,
love that one on it because it's like crunchy.
mhm.
Then it kind of changes the texture. But for me personally, I notice if I eat raw beef, I feel the best.
I know. I need to try it. So what do you do if you get frozen meat? You let it like defrost and then you cut it up.
You have to be fast about it. So it depends. Like, of course, you have to make sure you're getting it from a really good place. But if you're getting it from Jake's Steaks, I'm you'll have to ask him like which ones you can eat raw. But most of the like ancestral blends, that's the one I eat raw from him, and I let it thaw really quick. So I like leave it on the counter and maybe it's like an hour or two, and I feel like it's like mostly not frozen anymore. And then I'll stick it in like a big glass container, and then I'll put like I'll put some ghee or like whatever I'm putting on top and salt, and like I heavily salt it, and then I let it sit in the fridge for like an hour, or however long until it's actually defrosted, and then yeah, you have steak tartare, and it's so good.
Oh wow. But that's like
So
with the ground beef or is that with a steak? That's
that's
ground
with the
beef.
ground beef.
Do you ever
So
do
I would
steak raw or no?
try it. I haven't just because I love the flavor of a slightly seared steak and I eat it really rare anyway. So I haven't tried it, but definitely I feel the best when I have like meat that's extremely rare.
I know. I need to start. I usually eat medium rare, too rare, but I'm definitely willing to try like things more rare, if that makes
Yeah,
sense, or like not cooked because I
yeah,
hear that helps with like histamine intolerance and just like you feel your best.
yeah. A lot of people freak out about the raw beef stuff too. Like that's very scary for a lot of people. I
Yeah,
think
my mom still freaks out. I grew up in a household that eat well done steak, like well done steak.
yeah. Oh my gosh. So eating raw beef is gonna be scary. Yeah.
Yeah, my mom. Well, I don't live with my mom, but when she
Yeah.
comes over and she sees me like eating raw meat or like medium rare, she's like, "Oh my gosh, it's like still bleeding." Yeah, she freaks
Yeah.
out. She doesn't want to look at it.
Yeah. I brought steak tartare to like a party a while ago, and everyone was like not eating it. I was like, you guys don't even realize how lucky you are right now that I'm sharing this with you.
This is top tier.
Yeah, they were all scared. But I literally could just take a bowl and like put all the raw meat in a bowl and just like go down. It was so good.
Can
I love the
imagine.
crunchy salt on it.
Do you
But it's
find yourself being more like stricter on the carnivore diet or like eating more meat, or do you feel like you eat? Let me re-ask that. Do you find yourself eating more meat when you're eating like on the carnivore diet or animal based? Because I feel like I'm eating more meat now that I'm eating strict carnivore, where like animal based, because I had like the fruit and stuff, I ate less.
um okay, are you asking me just meat or like overall like food consumption?
I guess overall.
So I think for me personally, when I was doing animal based, all I could think about was fruit and sugar and sweets.
Hmm.
And I think I just have like a little bit of an addictive personality. So when I had the sweets, like that's all I thought about. And like
Yeah.
I would not force myself, but because I do love ground beef and I love my steaks, but I would say, okay, I have to eat this first and then I can eat that. Or I can eat like my blueberries I used to love like putting blueberries with like honey and cinnamon on top.
Oh my
I
gosh, me too.
thing.
So
Um,
good.
yeah, but I find myself eating like too much of it to a point where it's like you're not gonna. It's just you don't need that, and it
Yeah,
didn't make
no,
me
that
feel
makes sense.
good. Yeah.
I find, yeah, like when I was eating animal based, I would eat like ground beef or like a steak before I would eat fruit, but then I would eat
Uh
fruit
huh.
and then I would crave more fruit or like I would crave more sugar after eating, like,
Yeah.
it would just like wouldn't
Exactly.
end. So
Exactly.
that's why I like can't eat any of it because if I have some, it's like doesn't stop.
Yeah. I think I'm definitely the same way, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. Is the food noise is really loud once you have a tiny bit of sugar, and then like that versus like being in ketosis when you don't have that, you just don't get that like same constant food noise.
No, that makes sense because now I usually only eat twice a day. Like I don't really think about food as much as I used to. Where like when I
Huh?
was younger, I used to have an eating disorder. So now I find like if I were to eat fruit and stuff like that, I find like I needed to eat more of it. And like it just like kind of got into like a binge mentality where like now
Totally.
it's just like I just eat twice a day and it's like normal.
Yeah. So, do you like to eat like in the morning, or are you more of an afternoon?
I like to
Like,
eat in the more I wouldn't say early morning because I try to get like work done early in the morning and then I'll eat around like 11, and then I'll eat again probably around 6ish and then I'm usually done for the night.
yeah. Wow, that's awesome. That's kind of
But
what I
I
was
eat
trying
it.
to do too.
Yeah.
I like 2 meals a day too. I'm a solid 2 meals a day girl,
At
100%.
first that at first I was eating a lot more. Now it's just kind of like it just is more easier, like more convenient eating just twice a day.
Yeah, it is so convenient. I feel like that's something I always try to explain to people, and they're like, "What? No, you have to eat three. You have to eat." But I'm a breakfast girl through and through. Like when I wake
Me
up, I
too.
am like hungry,
Hungry. Me
and I'm like,
too.
I need food now.
I need food. Yeah. No, I know. And people think that like this diet is so like restrictive and it's
Huh?
like this has been the most not restrictive thing I've ever done, if that makes sense, because it's just so easy. Like I just
Yeah,
feel like, I just wake up, eat a steak. I don't have to think about food 24/7. Where like
yeah,
before that I would think about what I was going to eat for breakfast or lunch or dinner. Now it's just like I
totally.
already know what I'm eating.
Yeah, it's simple. And
Simple.
you waste so much less time and money on like random food ingredients, and like you don't have stuff going bad.
Oh, it's the
It
best.
just keeps it so simple.
How does your fridge look like? I live with other people who aren't carnivores, so you do too. Okay.
Yeah. If it was just my fridge, it would be like bones, frozen meat, a bunch of unsalted butter, which I like have a new weird obsession with, and ghee, raw milk, which I still have in there.
That's okay.
Um, and then I have you ever had, oh no, you can't have it because you don't have milk, but I also have ice cream for breakfast in the freezer.
Oh, I think I saw it. It looks like healthy ice cream, like made with like honey and stuff
Yeah,
like that. Oh, that sounds
yeah,
so good.
it is. It's like healthy ice cream, but it's the same. I mean, sugar will really get you because once you start with sugar, you can't stop.
Yeah. Before I
But they
used
are
to.
good.
Oh, really? They're
Uh,
good.
yeah, they're
Dangerous.
good. They're
But it's like
dangerous.
better. That's what I like promote to people is like even just like eating a cleaner diet and eating more meat and like
Yeah,
watching what's in your food can make a
uh
huge difference. Like such a big difference.
definitely, definitely. And I think like some people can handle doing more animal based, and then some people, I think, again, that are in a situation like how you and I were with either autoimmune or just health struggles in general. You kind of
Yeah.
have to make a transition out of that,
Yeah, or
which
like
is
dial it down a little bit and be a little bit more stricter.
yeah, yeah. which is definitely tough. I'm curious, do you drink any coffee?
No, so actually before, I used to drink a lot of coffee. Like I was a big coffee girl. And then slowly I started like not drinking as much coffee. And then when I went carnivore, actually, I found like I tried to introduce coffee again because I missed like having something other than water, and
Uh-huh.
I get really, really, really bad anxiety anytime I drink it. So I just stay away from it now.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess probably because I don't drink it really as much as I used to. It's
Yeah.
like I'll be up all night getting like heart palpitations. So yeah,
That's terrifying.
I don't drink it anymore, but I love coffee. I miss it.
Yeah. You can smell it, so you're like,
Yeah, I get the smell. I drink
yeah.
like tea every once in a while. I'll have tea,
Okay.
like decaffeinated black tea, because they say that's like good. Like if you need to like introduce a little bit of oxalates. Plus, I like the taste of black tea.
Yeah.
Or like I'll have herbal teas every so often. But other than that, I
Wow.
just drink water.
Yeah. I'm curious if you ever can you have like stevia? Probably not, right? Like I'm thinking about those element drinks.
Yeah, like the element ones. Yeah, I don't drink those. I'll drink the blue ones if anything.
Oh, because they're unflavored and they don't have the stevia.
Yeah. But if I
Yeah,
did
that's
have
smart.
if I did have the stevia, I feel like that would like trigger like my like having sugar. Like I would want more. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I notice I don't feel good when I have stevia.
Yeah.
Well,
Or like
number one, yeah, number one, it's like really hard on your digestive tract because it just is tough, and it can be like it can cause a lot of like indigestion, like stomach pain as a whole. But then, yeah, it causes that like continuing to crave the sweets. I was just thinking about that though because I used to drink those, and that's what I thought was causing my big migraines.
that.
Still not sure
I mean, it
exactly
could
what
be
it
that.
was.
Or you still drink them, or you know you haven't drank them.
Not really, no. I mean, I still have some, but I don't drink them. I used to drink them like every day.
They're good. They are good.
Yeah, they're good. I like the chocolate ones.
Good chocolate. Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't had those in a
Well,
while though.
I'm curious. So you definitely don't do this either, but did you ever do like cocoa powder at all?
Cocoa powder. Yeah, when I
Yeah.
was doing animal based, I would make that. Like I said, I used to make ice creams and stuff when I was doing animal based because I have a
Oh,
Ninja Creamy. So I would make like my own like ice creams,
yeah.
like with like uh raw cream, raw milk, like honey, and they would taste really good. I
Yeah.
did. You said cacao? Is that what you said?
Oh, like cocoa powder, cacao, either or.
Yeah, I would put that in and stuff like that.
Oh,
But no.
wow. Yeah.
Do
You
you
notice
like cacao powder or cocoa powder?
I don't know. I was thinking about it because I like making like teas, but I also love chocolate. So I was just thinking about that.
Chocolate, yeah.
Random question. I know
That
it's
was a
the
good question.
glucose. It's that apple.
It's the
It's
apple.
coming for me. Yeah.
Once when you
That's
get rid
awesome.
of it, it's like you won't even crave it anymore. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm really excited about is getting back to that because I think it kind of happened. Like once I was in strict carnivore for like a month, I
Mhm.
felt a little bit of it because I was doing less honey, but then the milk still kind of ruined it. So I'm gonna try it
It
though.
tastes like a
I'm
milkshake,
excited.
though, right? The milk with honey. Is that what you
Oh,
do? Do
it's
you
so
drink milk and honey? I used to drink that
yeah,
a lot,
so
and
good.
that was like a milkshake for me.
Yeah, it is a milkshake. It's delicious. And like just as a whole though, like drinking milk, I think was still like taking me out of ketosis and causing me to
Yeah.
crave sweets. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, this has been really fun. I'm happy I got to learn so much about you.
Oh, thank you. You too. I'm so happy we finally got to meet.
Me too. It's fun because like I feel like you feel like you know someone when you're watching them on social media all the time, right? I'm like, oh, like liking and commenting or like even if we send a DM back and forth every once in a while, I feel like you like really know someone. But then like meeting is so special.
Different, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Where do you live again?
I live in New York, Long Island.
Oh, that's so fun. East
Yeah.
Coast.
Where are you? I
I
thought
live
you
in
were in
Southern
Florida.
California.
Oh, you're in
I
California?
Yeah, I live in Southern California.
Oh, nice. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's fun. I was in Florida a few weeks ago.
Okay,
I'll
that's
talk
probably where
about
I got
that.
it.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so
I
cool.
did love going to Florida. Well, thank you so much for spending the time, like talking, answering all the questions. I think it's going to be really helpful for anyone that is still learning or like wanting to try the diet. But hopefully,
Thank you so much for having me.
yeah, of course, it's awesome. I'm definitely inspired, and I am ready to try to do lion diet with unaged meat.
I love it. That's amazing.
Well, thank you again. Bye bye.